Hello, my name is Evan Eckert here with another Evan Talks video, and today we have big news. The Cardinals have just released breaking news that they just extended JJ Wetherholt to an 8-year, $112.5 million contract extension. That is around $14 million per year, and that will buy out his arbitration years and extend him to the year 2035. This is huge for the Cardinals. First off, they're saving big money later. Instead of paying him, they would have paid him way more in arbitration within the next few years. So to get that already out of the way is huge. It finally shows that the Cardinals are willing to give commitment and show commitment to their big-time young players. We've been asking this question with Wetherholt specifically since the start of the year. Will the Cardinals do it after the Connor Griffin signing, the Connor Griffin contract extension, and then the Cooper Pratt extension with the Brewers, and then also the Colt Emerson with the Mariners. But we were wondering if the Cardinals were willing to do this with their own young players. And finally, they answered that question. And I personally think that's a great price for what you were going to get for Wetherholt. He's shown to be a great player. He's leading in the Rookie of the Year race currently, and arguably should have been an all-star. He's the best second baseman defensively and probably the third best defensive player in outs above average, I believe, in all of baseball. He is the Cardinals' leadoff hitter as a rookie starting off the year. He's slashing with a 267 batting average, a 362 on base, and a 411 slug. That gives him around a 770 OPS, I believe. It's just a huge deal for the Cardinals. I'm glad they made it. We've shown that we're willing to make this commitment to our young foundation of players. And now we'll have to see what happens with Walker and Ivan Herrera, and Mason Wynn is involved in that, and then also Burleson. But just a very exciting for the Cardinals' next 10 years of Cardinals baseball. Now, before I go on, you may be wondering, Evan, where are you? Well, I am currently still in St. Louis, and I am in this, my grandpa's man cave in my grandma and grandpa's house. It's kind of dedicated to the Cardinals. There's a bat over there. There's more and more on the sides. But anyways, to get back into the video, I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So we're going to go into this Brewers weekend and that series and how bad it was. We're going to ask, is this the end of the 2026 Cardinals? And then also we're going to talk about the Braves, and then finish up with the upcoming MLB draft tomorrow, I think. So anyways, to start off this Brewers series, it was pretty miserable. It was terrible, actually. We lost 4 games out of the 5. The Cardinals were able to pull away in the 4th game, but they did terrible. In the first game, it was all Cardinals. It was Cardinals all the way until Ryan Fernandez came in and blew it. He had an error. He gave up the runs. I think he gave up 4 runs. The Cardinals were winning 3-0, and then he chose to blow it. And so that game was exciting. And then after that, they sent him down, Ryan Fernandez down, for the next flurry of moves for the upcoming doubleheader. This is where we saw Bruce Zimmerman's season debut with the Cardinals. He was the bulk guy in our bullpen game against Jacob Mizorowski, and it started off strong once again, with Jordan Walker hitting a first inning 2-run home run off of Jacob Mizorowski. And then also Ivan Herrera was able to make it a 3 runs for the Cardinals. But Bruce Zimmerman gave up 3 runs in 5 innings, which is okay. He did okay as his first start, while Stanek received the loss after leaving the game with a collision at first base. The go-ahead run was inherited. Romero gave up the inherited go-ahead run to make it another 4-3 loss. So that's fun. The second game of that doubleheader, it was way worse. The Cardinals called up by the 27th man. They called up Hunter Dobbins to make that start, and he was able to pitch 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. Once again, not good, not great. And then it blew up after that, while Jared Schuster was the new man in the bullpen after they DFA'd Bruce Zimmerman after that game. They called up Jared Schuster to take the bulk innings for that next game, and he gave up 7 runs and 1 in the 3rd innings. The only highlight of that game was Nelson Velasquez hitting a 2-run home run, giving him 4 home runs on the year. And at that time he hit that home run, it was a 2-3 game, and then it all blew up. The 4th game was Michael McGreevy was pitching, and he pitched really good. He gave up 1 run in 6 1/3 innings, while striking out 6 batters. He ended the day with a 3.01 ERA on the season, which is amazing. I think he's still, going back to the last video, I think he's under-talked. I think people should be talking about him more and more. Yeah, he doesn't have great underlying stuff. He doesn't strike out a lot of batters, but he's not an Eric Fetty like we had to deal with last year. Eric Fetty had blue all over his baseball savant page, and everybody knew it was going to explode. We're in the middle early-ish of July 10th. Let's just say that. We're in July 10th, and Michael McGreevy still has a 3.01 ERA. By then, Eric Fetty was, I think around that time, he got DFA'd by the Cardinals. But anyways, the scoring of this game started off in the 1st inning with 3 doubles coming from Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, and Alec Burleson. The Walker and Burleson doubles were both RBI doubles to give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning, while Alec Burleson's was also lefty-lefty, which is huge for him because he's been struggling mightily this season against lefty pitchers. Fermin also added his 4th home run of the season as a solo shot to extend the lead to 3-0 for the Cardinals. And then Alec Burleson was also able to add on with another lefty-lefty extra base hit, this one going into the stands for a 2-run shot to give the Cardinals a eventual 5-1-0 lead. But the Cardinals were able to take this game with a score of 5-1. Now, the last game, I was actually in attendance of this game. Palante was starting, and he was not very good. He went 5 innings pitched and gave up 6 runs, with the big blow being a 3-run home run from Jake Bauers. It was a hanging curveball, terrible pitch. But anyways, the Cardinals lessened the deficit, though, with an RBI single from Lars Nootbaar. But then Jordan Walker hit a 3-run bomb. It was huge. It was crazy. It was wild. This is the game he just got announced that he was going to be in the home run derby, I think earlier that day. So I was telling my family, I was like, it would be crazy if he hit a home run. And I was like, and then he did, and I was like, oh, it was great. Also, Luis Gastelum, however you want to pronounce it. I believe it's Gastelum. But anyways, he also recorded his first career strikeout, which is those were the only highlights for the Cardinals of this game, though. Sadly, the Cardinals eventually lost 8-4. And that was another victory for the Brewers. And so that gave the Cardinals a season record of 2-8 against their division rivals, which is absolutely terrible over the season. But that's what goes into our next segment, is the 2026 Cardinals. And the question is today is the 2026 Cardinals season over? With this tough loss, again, the Cardinals have a record of 2-8 against the Brewers all season, and they have also found themselves 3 games back from the wild card placement. So we're in a bad spot. We're not in the playoffs currently, but we are 4 games over 500, and we have a series against the Braves, who we did win 2 out of 3 against. So hopefully we're able to win some of those games. But we find ourselves behind the Marlins, Phillies, and Cubs. They're all ahead of us in the wild card race, while the Nationals and Pirates are close behind, 1-ish game, and then 1 1/2 games back from us. So we have some things to do, but the true question is, are the Cardinals able to keep their heads above water while one of the Phillies, Marlins, or Cubs fall off completely? We'll need one of those teams to fall off, and I believe out of those 3, maybe the Marlins, even though they've been the best team since the start of June, I think they have the worst track record to hopefully, for the Cardinals' sake, eventually fall off. But the Cardinals need to start winning some baseball games and start winning these important stretches. So hopefully they can win this Braves series and take this tough stretch that we've been eyeing on the calendar for a while and go into the All-Star break above 500 in this stretch of games. But it'll just be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see if the Cardinals are able to pull themselves out of this tough stretch. Well, I guess just rough series loss. They were not in a really bad stretch, but this series was terrible. Going into this Braves series, though, we've been talking about it. The Cardinals will play 3 games, and then they'll find themselves in the All-Star break. The first game is Kyle Leahy against Chris Sale. Chris Sale has been awesome throughout his career and this season, so that will be interesting to see if the Cardinals are able to see what they can do offensively against him. Matthew Liberatore, once again, is making a start against the Braves, and that will be against Reynaldo Lopez. And then the third game will be Dustin May, hopefully a redemption round after his last start against them, and that will be against J.R. Ritchie. Hopefully, I'm seeing a Cardinals 2 out of 3, hopefully. It's going to be tough, but it's kind of needed before the Cardinals go into this tough break. But yeah, I hope I see a 2 out of 3 for the Cardinals. It most likely probably will be a series loss, but my optimism is viewing a series win, just because we've seen the Cardinals pull themselves out of these ruts that they've found themselves all year. And the last topic today, we have the draft, and I believe it starts tomorrow. But the Cardinals, it's very interesting for the Cardinals. They have their first pick is the 13th pick in the first round, so it's a high pick. It's not in the top 10, sadly, but anyways. But good news is the Cardinals have 6 picks in the first 100, and the 5 of them come in this first 75. So it'll be interesting to see who the Cardinals draft. I've not been keeping up with who the draft, the prospects are that we can draft, but it'll be interesting to see. 2 of these came from the trades we made, or 2 of these trades came from the Donovan trade that we made earlier in the offseason. One of them came from the Tampa Bay Rays, and one of them came from the Seattle Mariners. But anyways, that is another video of Evan Talks. I'm glad you enjoyed this video, and hope you keep on watching Cardinals baseball. Have a good day. Bye.